Kiran Mazumdar joins us, Chairperson and Managing Director with Biocon. Kiran, welcome back. Good morning and welcome back to ET Now. Now, company has announced private equity investor True North buying 2.5% or 2.4% stake in the biologics business. Are you looking at another 2.4%? Seems to be small, considering that you were expecting, or we were expecting, about a 10% stake sale.
Well, I'd like to start by saying that this is a stepping stone, and this is the first step that we're taking towards the value creation journey that we're on in terms of our Biocon biologics business. And I had shared a while ago that we would try to obtain a kind of a benchmark valuation before we go to the markets for an IPO. And I think this is the first step we are taking with True North, where they have actually come in at a baseline valuation of $3 billion of a valuation for the biologics business. We will probably raise a little more, but I don't think there is any intention to have a huge stake sale to private equity at this stage, since the objective is very different to raising capital, which we will do when we go for the IPO. So I don't understand why shareholders should be surprised at this move of ours.
This is one of its kind deal. When we look at valuation, it seems rich. But when we look at biologics growth, valuations are not very expensive. How would you look at valuations and potential for the biologics business?
I think you should look at similar kinds of businesses globally and see how they are being valued. And if you look at our peers in other parts of the world, I think our valuation is very fair. And I believe that, as we go on a very robust growth trajectory, we expect that when we actually go for the IPO, you will see a much higher valuation, because that's the unlocking of the value that we believe will happen when we go to the markets for the IPO.
Okay. Does the PE investment sets the stage for an eventual IPO of the subsidiary, which could be perhaps, are you looking at about 12 to 24 months down the line then?
Well, the understanding with the PE investors is that we will, go for an IPO within 3 years. So that's as far as I can share with you. I'm sure it will be sooner, but that's the plan.
And do you think that Biocon is getting into a phase where various catalysts are now unfolding, Kiran, particularly for the biosimilar business after a long wait?
Well, I think, we have some very exciting growth opportunities ahead of us in 2020. If you look at our biologics business, both trastuzumab and pegfilgrastim have already entered the US market. Glargine is already in non-US markets in Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and we are already there in Japan. So I believe this is a very, very important year for us, because we will have Glargine hopefully entering the US market. And we also expect by year FY22, we expect both bevacizumab and probably aspart also adding to this list. So as you can see, we are going to have a very interesting and expanding pipeline of products entering these global markets, which really gives us the confidence that we can actually hit the $1 billion target that we've talked about by FY22.
What about the increasing acceptance of cost-effective biosimilars in the US? Is that one of the key triggers for growth?
Well, certainly I think given the spiraling healthcare costs, biosimilars are the need of the day. And I think you are seeing greater acceptance of biosimilars both in the US and other global markets. I think we keep focusing on US, of course, which is the largest opportunity for us. But emerging markets have also played out to be a very important growth market for us as well. And of course, going forward, China is going to be a very important market adding to this list.
Now, the run rate currently for biosimilars is quite low as compared to the target of $1 billion by 2022-23. So what is the strategy in place that could help you reach that level over the next 12 to 18 months?
Well, you can see that our current growth rate is also very high, and we expect to continue with that kind of growth momentum, and we are very confident that we can hit that number.
Biocon has been in news for offering a plan of daily insulin plan at 10 cents to low and middle income countries. How do you plan to cut prices? And do you think this plan will be commercially viable?
I think you should understand that even currently, when we go in for, tenders in many of these emerging markets, we are at these kind of levels. So it's nothing new in that sense, but I think we wanted to bring a spotlight on this because I think this is a very big opportunity for Biocon now that we have the kind of capacities in place, and that's why we're making this statement saying we will be able to very comfortably offer this kind of price point for recombinant human insulin in many of these emerging and developing markets.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Shaw, for joining in and sharing with us your strategy.